All right, so we're going to talk through a couple things to get started with our line follower project here. And so one thing we want to think about is that we actually want it to run without having to run it. So we want it to run when the device boots up because it has to be battery powered. So we won't be able to connect it to a computer until to start. It's got to start on its own, which means it's got to run in main.py. Okay? And so the way that we're going to do this is we're going to make another file, and we'll call this line follower. Okay. And what we're going to do here is we're going to say, we're going to basically do all of our work here. So we're going to say from servo import servo, and then we will, we'll need the machine library probably from machine import pin. I'm sure we'll use that later. From just go import time. Okay, and so what I'm going to focus on here is just the basics of it, right? So we want to create our left motor, and you might set it on, say, like pin. Let's see, we got to run pins S0 and S1 would be pins 7 and we'll go pin 8. Okay, for the right motor, and you can switch these. But what we want to do here is we want to make basically functions for controlling our robot. And so I'm going to show you how to make one of them. And then from there, you can kind of work on the rest of them. Okay? And then we're going to make first a def move right. We'll say set right motor speed. And we're going to pass in a number. So remember that with these continuous servos, we're going between 0 to 180, where 90 is stopped, right? And so we want to set a speed between 0 and 100. And so we're going to convert that to between negative 100 to 100. We're going to convert that to 0 to 180. Okay? And we're going to pass in the speed. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to say right motor dot right. And we're going to say speed plus 100. So we add 100 to it, and this will get it between 100 to 200. And then we're going to say times 180 divided by 200. I think that'll do the trick. Okay? And we'll do the same thing for the left motor. And this allows us to set the speed instead of using the angle. And so now we're going to make a function called run. We'll say while true. We should do this. Try. We'll add the try and except block. Okay. And for now, we're just going to set the two speeds. So we're going to go. So round our speed to 100. And then we're just going to accept the keyboard interrupt. And then we're going to set to 0. Give ourselves a sleep, time dot sleep. And the key here is that our control of the vehicle is going to happen in this run function. And what we'll do here is we're going to say if name equals main, like that, we're going to say run. So without getting too far into the weeds here, what's going on is that this line runs when we run this file. Later, when we want to import it into here, it won't run this line. We'll actually import the function and run it. And so we may run into issues, but that's the plan right now. So I'm going to press run here. Let's actually try some different speeds. So I set it to there. We're going to have a delay. And we're going to set it to off. And let's set it to say 50. And so this is a way just to test out that the speed works. And speed control, you do this with both motors. I'm just going to do it with one for now. And then we're going to set it to reverse as well, just to make sure it all works as expected. We'll put the negative 100 and negative 50. Okay? So I run it. No module name machine. So lowercase m. It is home. Alright, let me move this over to the correct one since I'm using the right motor. Okay. So and then here's my motor doing its business. Oh, and that's interesting. It stopped. Try. Oh, so now we want to, since we're in a loop, we're going to say while true. There we go. I'm going to tab all these over, so press tab, tab them over. Okay, so basically it's going to loop through this control. And you see the motor doing the different speeds. I'm going to stop it. And there you go, it stopped. Okay, so we got our motor control there in place, and that's working. And so we can delete all this here now. And now we want to make our forward function. So we're going to say forward, and then we're going to give ourselves a delay. And then maybe like we will have a function called stop, something like that. Okay? And so I'm going to show you the implementation of the forward function. But what you guys are going to want to do is you're going to want to have forward, a left function, a right function, and then a reverse function, as well as a stop function. Okay, so we have to implement all these functions, and we're going to, say for this one, we'll say, I'm just going to put pass here, and then later when you implement them, you can remove that, and you can put in the actual code. Okay. So we have those functions. We're calling forward there, and we stop. And then maybe like, we'll have it. You have it go in a square, so we go forward and back, and then turn in a circle, something like that, to demonstrate this. Okay. All right. So in my forward function, what I'm going to do is we're just going to set the speed for the two motors. And so I'm going to pass in, say, 100. And now what you might find is, as you're building these guys, you might notice that some of your motors, this should be left order, right? There we go. Your two motors might not have the same speed capabilities, and so you might need to, adjust the speeds here so that they work. And you also might see that, oh, you know what, they're mounted in reverse, so I have to actually make that one negative, or maybe I need to make, this one negative. It's pretty easy to change that. Okay, and then we run it, and it's doing that forward. Because the stop isn't implemented, it doesn't actually stop. Okay. And then what we're going to do here now is we're going to say from line follower import run. And then we're just going to do run like that. Let's see if this works. And there you have it. It's working. Press stop. There you go. You can run it. And what this will do is having this main.py with these lines in there will allow us to, if I unplug this from the computer and hook it up to a battery, it's going to allow it to continue running. It's going to run the code that's in this run function right here. So it's going to run all that automatically when it boots up. And so when you plug in the computer, it's going to do this. You have to press that stop to stop it, but otherwise it'll be running. And then this will be where your code goes, okay? And so we already built this forward function together. You'll need to tweak that and maybe adjust the speed so you want it to go in a straight line. So you might have to adjust those to get to go in a straight line. You'll add the reverse function. You'll implement left, right, stop, and we'll run some tests to make sure we can do all those things.